sound effect? Not quite sure. I'm kind of fond of the vine boom sound, so maybe it's that? I want more than just the wild pipes. Anyway, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. Fan on in the window, 2 fans in the hallway. Stuff opened up, so hopefully there's air circulating. It's going to be in the mid-80s today, which means inside here, it's, well, in fact, outside. When it says it's going to be in the mid-80s, it usually hits into like the 90s, so it's going to be hot. Oh boy, and oh, my shoulders, that nerve compression just sucks so bad. Everything up here hurts because the nerves are compressed and they're irritated, and even though there's no like actual injury, everything is sore. Yay! I love the fact that I need to have my vertebrae around my spinal column. I don't know what is doing that, but it's been doing the USB disconnect reconnect sound, and I have nothing hooked in on USB that would do that. But it's nice to know again that the bones surrounding my spinal cord need to be just creamed out to make space and then all put back together. Anyway, thumbs up. Yay! Speaking of moving, I'm going to go through this one real quick because, once again, it's how much life is too much life. I have thrown away a metric busload of stuff, but I have one big plastic bin that's filled with my old physical discs. This is one of the things. I have a plastic drawer that I have just all of these discs inside. But what are the odds I'm ever going to do anything with them? Especially since Windows 10 onward won't even run a lot of the installers because they're either 32-bit or it's just the Windows operating system doesn't trust that system because there's no digital certification saying it's trustworthy. And so they just won't install. And in many cases, taking a look at the stuff that I have here on disk, Enclave, which I have on Steam, Witchhaven, which I have on GOG, Rise of the Triad, which just came out with the new, I have no ideas what is unplugging and replugging in on my system. That is really weird and annoying. But Rise of the Triad, they just recently came out with the Ludicrous edition for that, where it's been updated for modern audiences. Remember when I said that old media has to be recontextualized for every new generation? Rise of the Triad is 25 years old. And the latest version of it has got a whole bunch of quality of life issues, but it has been recontextualized for the next generation. The game continues. But then there's Heretic 2. You know what doesn't come on any digital media? Heretic 2. I don't know that I should even throw this one out. You can't find this game. I have no ideas what's going on. I have a USB hub. I'm going to unplug the hub. And then hopefully that's going to do it. If not, then I don't know what's going on. But I shouldn't throw out things like this one. Apparently you can still install it online. Thief Gold, available digitally. And again, here's one that I shouldn't throw out. No One Lives Forever. Awesome game. Hopefully you can't read the, I'm going to have to make sure I blur out the CD key there. But you can't get this online. You can't get that. And it's a great game. Icewind Dale. You can get that digitally. So aside from a few things here, like No One Lives Forever, And that's it off that stack. No One Lives Forever is the only Well, where's Heretic? Where did I put the Heretic disc? Oh, there we are. So those are two things just out of here that I shouldn't throw out. But all of these, I don't need them. So yeah, I'm going to go through all of those discs, and I'm going to prune out more things. I mean, here's a bunch of these great big old discs, like, oh, there's dust and fluffies, but Arcana. And oh, there's more dust hanging off the bottom of that. Shows how often I bring these out, doesn't it? They say don't play that, and really it's true. It's supposed to be a sequel, but it's not a sequel to something. And Turok, well, that's also digital. And then there's the Cossacks RTSs, which are also digital. And Pure, if you like, motorcycle stuff. Look at all the garbage hanging off of these things if you can. Need for Speed, and of course includes 17 games, Command and Conquer Ultimate Edition, which is also digital. So yeah, I got more and more of my life to get rid of. I got stuff that's decades old. Ooh, I already had. Now this is sad, but it's done. So I had boxes of manuals for discs. Boxes of manuals that I hadn't used or looked at in decades. So even though we have a loss of physical media, 87% of all the media of video games, 87% of all video games are gone. No physical or historical record of them. And the video game market is actively trying to make sure that's 100% gone. They don't want video game preservation because the past is competition for the present and the future. They don't want you playing their old games. They want you buying their new games. If you're playing their old games and not buying their new games, they're in competition with their past. They don't want you buying their old games. They want you buying their new games. They don't want to preserve the history. They don't care about that. That's competition. So yay. But checking the rest of my list here, my sister called last night, and she's going to be giving me a hand to do some things. I need to get my registration and title for my vehicle so that she can get copies of it so we can get it hauled away for scrap. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. My housemates drove it to death, and it's broken. But modern cars, from 2000 on are designed. When they say they have a 10-year warranty, that means it's really only good for 10 years. After that, it's going to start falling apart fast. That thing ran for at least 14 before it started running down and falling apart, and then they drove it to death. So it's dead. I don't have the money necessary to get it back up and running. But we're also, again, going to be working on, I need desperately to push through my executive function, and I'm getting help from other people to try and locate some low-income housing. I don't want to live in an apartment, social anxieties, loud noises. I have issues with that sort of thing, so life. I don't have a choice, do I? So we're trying to find me some housing because, yeah, that freight train's running at me at 200 miles an hour. While I'm getting stuff ready here, I've got someone, family or friend, that is jumping in to help me do the things that I can't do. There are times that I am obsessive about my shirt hanging as symmetrically. Asymmetry bothers me a lot. But now I can't remember where I've gone. Oh yes, there are times that I don't like being neurodivergent. I hate having depression. I don't like that. It sucks. It has been just a heavy blanket on top of me my whole life, and it's still there now. I hate having depression, but it's biochemical. There's nothing I can do. I hate having ADHD. Time blindness. I'm 60. I can only actively remember maybe 20 years of my life, if I'm lucky, because it has been blink, blink, blink. Oh, look, 5 months went by. Time blindness blows. And neurodivergent, as in where I am on the autism spectrum, there are times I hate that because I don't know how to deal and interact with people, and there are things like trying to get done and get the housing and all this that I don't know how to do. It's not that I don't want to learn or I refuse to learn. It's like, okay, part of going from A to B to C to D means you have to run and jump over this 10-foot crevasse in the ground. I don't have the speed to jump over that 10-foot crevasse. I can't make that leap, no matter how much I want. I hate, at times, being neurodivergent. But everybody in the world is neurodivergent in some way. There are very, very few people that are normal. Everything is a bell curve. And that top of the bell curve is a very, very, very tiny little area before it falls off again. Even up at the top, it is a slight curve, but it is until it hits that point, and then slight curve again until it gets to a strong one. There is no such thing as normal, especially since normal, like everything that we humans do, is a social construct. We have decided just as a people what is normal, and normal is constantly shifting through time and generations, especially with global communications the way we have now. So when you have people like the alt-right and right-wing grifters trying to keep the status quo, society is always changing. The status quo is stagnation, and stagnation is death. So let me check in on my list here again. Oh, this is something that is checking my time, really cool but really silly at the same time. They have done a remake for the game Quake 2. Which means, of course, in the midst of all this, when things settle down, and I'm not desperately worrying if I'm going to live on the street, like 5-6 months, a year, I'm going to have to get that Quake 2 remake at that time. I can't do it now, but for decades, I have seen nothing online but hate for Quake 2. They've hated the graphics, they've hated the story, they've hated this. Everybody calls it the black sheep of the Quake thing, and they don't like Quake 2. But since the remake came out, I've heard nothing but love and praise about Quake 2. It's been my favorite. Thumbs up for that. Quake 3 was just a multiplayer arena shooter. Oh boy. Quake 4, again, strong stuff, back to a sequel to Quake 2. I just haven't really played it. Thumbs up for that. So checking the rest of my list here. All I'm really going to talk about for the rest of this time here is like just some more of my creative stuff and going back over some things that I've talked about, especially since a bit ago, a couple days back, I talked about the Department of Government Resources, a consolidation of government resources in one building for a 7-county area that is a created existential horror. Now to go back on what it's like to go inside of this place, because I've mentioned it is a horrible place, but it is a horrible place. Because it is an existential horror that is still a mechanism. It is a machine. There is no mind to it. Nobody deliberately created this. It was unconscious confirmation bias with right place, right time, wrong people. And an existential horror of the department was created. When you go in, you are in for a very bad time because it has a surrounding dunning field. which drives down a lot of your brain waves to what it's like when you're dreaming. So when you're entering this place, you're already in a half dreamlike state. Dream logic starts to apply, so stuff that's weird and freaky doesn't bother you. Dream logic, you're in a half dream state. You cannot think critically. You are absolutely 100% unable to think critically. And because you cannot think critically, you cannot make decisions in good judgment. And when things go wrong horrifically, yeah, they're annoying, you're bad, you get mad, but the Dunning field and you in that half dreamlike state, how much do you actually remember when you wake up from a dream? Your rememberer is turned off. Guess what's also driven halfway down inside of people's heads because of the field? Your rememberer. When you leave the department, you remember it was a horrible time. You can't remember any details. But when you go inside, it's almost like it's designed, but it's not. When you need to go through a specific door, everything seems to be designed not to let you go through there. That door is in a dark section of a room or hall. It's harder to see. Because it's in a darker section, oh, the paint might be this. Stuff is in the way. Oh, because of foreshortening and perspective, it looks like it's blocked off. The places that you don't want to go are brightly lit. And there is interior design that shuffles you unconsciously towards those places. So the places you need to go are hard to find, and the places you don't want to go, you are funneled toward. Not only that, when you find the legend that tells you where to go, well, that's great that it's got all the department names like that, but instead of giving numbers, they're little symbols, and the symbols are only slight variations on a color and slight variations on size. So when you look at them, it's hard to differentiate, and when you can, try to figure out where you've got to go. Now there is a basement, ground floor, first and second, but when you go in there, you might end up on the third or fourth floor. If you're on the third or fourth floor, you're going to lose time, hours, days, maybe weeks, but you're going to come out of it at least alive. If you make it into the sub-basement 1, same deal. Now, corridors, if you go in through a corridor that's a block long or less, you'll be okay because the actual building is only 2/3 of a block in size. But you can be in a hallway that's a block long. If you end up walking into a hallway that's more than a block long, no one's going to see you ever again. If you end up in sub-basement 2 or lower, no one is ever going to see you again. If you're on floor 5 or above, same deal. You are not going to end well, because you are going to be funneled lower and lower if you're in the basements, higher and higher if you're on the 5th floor, or further and further out if you're in one of those long corridors. As you get funneled, less and less people, more and more storage, less and less food and water, and any place to use restrooms, they start to vanish until you end up in a spot empty, dusty, lights not working, you haven't had food, you haven't had water, and you die in semi-darkness and silence and dust. The department is a terrible, terrible place. And when you, checking my time, when you lose time, it's not that you're just lost inside of this place. You actually have, from your timeline, time ripped out and then the edges stitched back together. You lose literal time from your life. When you're lost for weeks, you're lost for weeks. But you are damaged inside on a temporal level, and you will feel those effects for the rest of your life. But you don't know why these things are happening to you, because when you leave, as the Dunning field slowly fades, you can't remember what happened. You're just, oh my God, I was in there for weeks. What happened? And everyone is freaked out because no one's seen you for weeks. And then you come out. And you're glad, but you got stuff done, and everyone's freaked out. But if they think too much about the department, the Dunning field in their heads that gets generated, and any conscious thought about the department is gone. And when they come out of it, everyone's fine. It's, hey, you're back. Let's all go out. You've been gone for a long time, couple weeks. We got stuff here going. Where have you been? It doesn't matter. Let's go here. The department is a terrible, terrible place. No less horrible for the people that work there, but I'll have to speak about them on another day. Because I want to thank each and every person that has donated to my PayPal. I forgot the words. I forgot how to speak English. To my PayPal, to my GoFundMe, and my excuse me, my Patreon patrons. These are beautiful and awesome people that when they look in the mirrors, they see that they are, if not externally, at least internally, beautiful and awesome. Thank you, each and every person that does help me stay alive. It is appreciated to no end. And of course, I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count on the fingers of this hand, it's for stimming purposes. I'm not really counting anymore. I've increased my text size to 150% so I can see it at this distance. Floramu, thumbs up. Thank you. Good to see you in the comments. And I would like to go talk about more new creative stuff, but there is so much panic, terror, and static up here. I'm lucky I'm able just to remember what I've gotten already. Oy vey. But good to see you. Thank you much. We have Emilio. Thumbs up and thank you very, very much. It is appreciated. Chris, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. And I laughed at this one when I saw it earlier. 9 Juan. Thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Jesse Koskinen. Greatly appreciated. Good to see you in the comments. Definitely. I want to play more in different games as well as continuing Daggerfall, but I've run out of the reverse bullet hell games, except for one called Death State, so I might do that one. And then we have Made in Canada. Good to see you in the comments. And yeah, I mean, it's the person that got up and left. I laughed. I didn't feel bad that she apparently thought I was creepy, because I was the only guy in the theater. I was the oldest person in the theater. I can't blame them for thinking, that's kind of creepy the way he's like only 3 seats behind us. I think we'll move. So it's sad, but life is life. As stated, I laughed inside though. We have, oh boy, PCHALO20, which is all written in Cyrillic or Kyrillic, I can't remember at the moment, but they really like the game Vampire Survivors. That's a good game. I love that one. RJ Mitchell, greatly appreciated. Thumbs up. Thank you in the Thank you in the comments. Good to see you in the comments. Thumbs up and thank you very, very much. I've lost my mind. And that is it. We're in total of 5 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly, greatly appreciated. I'm going to change my background so that it is one specific color instead of having actual pictures, because while I like the pictures, I don't think they're appropriate for like shining off my glasses, so hopefully no one got to see my background picture, which is okay. So thumbs up, greatly appreciated, each and every person. It's a Friday. I'm going to make what calls I can. I got to get out into my vehicle to try and leaf through the mold and find information so I can talk to my sister. I got to find out by searching online and looking for low-income housing in our area. I don't mind moving, but I just got a doctor here. And I kind of like the area in that I can walk to everywhere I need to go. And if I go to some place bigger or newer, I'm not going to know where everything is. And maybe things are more than 3 miles away. Thumbs up. Anyway, though, hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done. That would be very, very cool. And, of course, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very good thing. Take a look at my time. I'm at 25 minutes, which is better than 30. But is it worse than 20? I don't know. But I got to turn this on. So, take care. Have a great day. And, yeah, I will see you.